It's interesting because the way this started had nothing to do with architecture. It started off as a visioning session that we did with staff, looking at how they teach and work, pedagogy, and the changes that they wanted to make. They didn't want to keep teaching the way we have in the last 100 years. So how do they teach and work in a collaborative environment, and how might that affect the learning environment? We began to recognize that they need to have a varied teaching environment where they can have large groups and small groups, even small groups that make noise, so maybe a breakout space. Maybe even bleed outside the classroom walls, so outdoor learning areas, but still maintain supervision. And even beginning to connect classroom to classroom. That allows maybe even across the curriculum, two teachers to work together. You could have an English teacher and a history teacher working together. So suddenly that began to shape the learning environment to look completely different than the learning environment most of us know as kids. And as you look around, you'll see some of the changes that were made to make that happen, including small breakout spaces, connections between classrooms, and easy and supervisable connections to outdoor learning areas, all with a big, robust technology infrastructure to allow that to happen.
And Bill, how have you seen these changes? How have you seen the new campus impact both the experience of teachers and students in this school year so far?
Well, we have well-designed 21st century classrooms, and we're teaching kids to be ready for 21st century skills. And so our instruction really enhances collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. The teachers are adjusting to the new classrooms by incorporating more technology into their instruction, and also kind of loosening up the reins to instruction as opposed to a sit and get or a more traditional model of instruction. More group activity, more problem solving and inquiry activity. And what we've also seen is they're utilizing the space entirely different. The classroom space is more group and more community oriented. They use the outdoor space much more readily. And there's kind of a relaxed flow of interchange between the students and the teachers that is hard to do sometimes in a traditional classroom, which is set up again for a teacher to be dispensing information versus facilitating learning.
And how does this, obviously all of this is, in the end, has the student in mind. How does this facilitate student success going forward?
Well, student success is going to be based on their ability to take academic risks in the future, the ability to push themselves to a point of academic discomfort, quite frankly. And these classrooms enhance that because students, again, can work in small, focused groups on problem-solving activities and gain that confidence not just in the subject area, but also in how they interact with each other. And our assessments, our new assessments, the Smarter Balance assessments that we have, are all done online. It's all a technology-based assessment. And the more our kids are ingrained in technology with their instruction, the more comfortable they'll be in that assessment. And also they'll be more comfortable and more confident with the critical thinking and the problem-solving aspect of that assessment.
Mark, how powerful is the technology environment in these classrooms?
Oh, it's quite remarkable. And the district actually was able to access a greater bandwidth connection. And then within the classrooms, there's both wired and wireless devices. They actually, within each classroom, the ability to have 60 independent devices operating at the same time. Then if you also notice, there's, instead of the traditional projection screen, it's really moving to a newer technology. There's large format, flat screen monitors. Ultimately, those could become interactive monitors one day, because that's really where technology is going in classrooms.
And I want to add to that too, is that this has heightened the profile of what we can do as a school, and it's established us in a very quick time period to have some community connections to enhance our programs. We've received a grant from the American Association of University Women to support a robotics program, which will be taught is being taught in the classroom right behind us. And we've just found out this morning we received a grant from the CTE Foundation to be able to build an electric car in the second semester. And so our teachers and students will be trained about the components of electric car and the assembly of electric car.
What's the CTE Foundation?
Career Technical Education Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, tell me about the chairs on wheels.
The chairs on wheels is a big change, a larger change than I anticipated. Again, in a traditional sense, a teacher wants to have control of their classroom, student management as at the forefront of their thinking, and often that is in well-organized rows and good seating charts. When you give kids flexible furniture, you give them wheels, you give them things that swivel, you have to give up as an instructor that type of control, and what you have to do is enhance the amount of trust and interaction you have with your students and the flexibility you have as a teacher to kind of let them be co-facilitators of their learning. And what we found out, and I've even had some converts that I hope you get to talk to who were reluctant to introduce wheels into their classroom, they found out it actually has increased the students' focus with their ability to move, just like we all do as we're interacting with each other.
And it utterly supports that notion, again, of a differentiated learning environment. Those chairs and tables could be large group, could be small group, peer-to-peer, work individually, move outdoors. And when those things are unwheeled, it's remarkable how much easier they happen.